Hey guys, it's Aislinn, and in today's video, we are going to be testing so many different hair color removers. I cannot wait. I've been wanting to do this video for years, okay, but it's a lot. Like, this is a lot to prepare for a video. It's also very expensive. I had to prepare like a wig to be able to do this on. So I have all the hair color removers. I got the wig ready, and we are going to go ahead and test a bunch of different color removers against each other and see which one works the best. I have used every single one of these color removers on myself. So yeah, check my YouTube channel for color removers and there will be a playlist of me using all of these on myself. So let's go ahead and run through which ones I got. Gaitang Striptease, I love this one. I remember it being very gentle on my hair and it also did a very good job. I have Illumin Play. We have Joico Color Eraser, one of my favorites. It is more damaging, but it works amazing at removing hair color. We have Punky Color Off. I used this and it absolutely fried my hair. Not the fault of the product, in my opinion. My hair was just so fried that obviously putting this on it is going to melt it off. And that's exactly what happened. I literally lost handfuls of hair. So we're gonna be trying this today. L'Oreal Color Zap. This is also one of my favorites. I've heard amazing things about this. A lot of other people who dye their hair often say this one is amazing. All these are kind of bleach based, so they are gonna be a little bit more harsh than like Color Oops or something like that. But I wanted to get color removers that were all kind of like the same. So we got the Color Zap. We got Matrix So Color Cult. We got the Radical Color Remover. I got L'Oreal FSL Color Remover. This one is probably top 3 out of all the hair color removers I have here. I've used this so many times on myself and it always works so well at removing blue and green from my hair, and you can mix it up with water so it's more gentle, so I love this one. We got Malibu DDL XL. We have the Schwarzkopf Color Remover. This one again, top 3. Absolutely love this color remover. Unfortunately, it is professional, so it's harder to get your hands on. I did a mix of like things you can buy at Sally Beauty and things you can get at Cosmoprof. So there's a good mix here of a lot of different options. I will link all these color removers in the description down below. A lot of the time you can find stuff like this on Amazon, so I will link it in the description down below for you guys. Last thing I got is the Argan Oil Color Fix. Again, have used this on myself. This is the only one we're using today that is not like bleach based. Okay, this one is like a high lift permanent color, not bleach based. This one I feel like is definitely the most gentle out of any of these other ones. This is the wig we're going to be using to remove color. So I dyed this the other night on live. We spent like 4 hours on live dyeing this together. It didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but it's still going to be perfect for this experiment. So what I did is I put red up by the shadow root and I blended that into yellow. So you can see there's like a orange hue here. Then I blended the yellow into the green. You can't really see the green. It just goes into like a really dark blue. The dark blue goes into purple. And then on the ends here, we have pink. So I tried to do like every color of the rainbow. It's not like full rainbow like this, but it does have a lot of those darker tones. I also picked tones that were super dark, like this purple and blue you guys see is so dark, and the red is very dark, because I really wanted to test these and see which color removers remove the most amount of color out of the hair. If I were to do this on like this hair, it would come out a lot easier. So I wanted to do it on a wig that would be a little bit more challenging, just to see which one has the most impact on removing the color. I'm gonna go ahead and mix all of these up and we're gonna start applying all of these to this wig. All right, I have everything mixed up. I just haven't mixed it yet. So I dumped the 2 ingredients in every bowl. I just haven't mixed it up yet because I didn't want it to start activating. So you might be thinking, how are you gonna keep all this organized? I got 11 different color removers here. Well, let me tell you. I wrote a list starting with 1, numbering it down to 11 with what goes inside, how much is the ratio, like 1 to 1, 1 to 2, and then how long you're supposed to leave it on for. And then I also, on each bowl, took a piece of tape and wrote the name and put it on the bowl so that way I won't get the bowls mixed up. And then as far as the sectioning on the mannequin, I am going to start in the order of which the list is. So I, like I said, numbered 1 through 10 on a piece of paper, 1 starting with punky color and then working my way down. And I'm just going to follow that list with the sections. So I'm going to start with punky color, work my way down the list, And in case I get which side mixed up, I did write on her forehead. We're gonna start with punky color over here and then work our way to number 11. Number 11 is the argan oil, so I wrote argan above this eyebrow. So I know I'm starting with punky over here and working my way around to this argan oil side. So each one of these is mixed up differently. I did wind up following the instructions for what it recommends. Some of these recommend you to mix it with water, some with 10 volume, some with 20 volume. So I just looked at the instructions and whatever it recommended for semi-permanent color is what I mixed it up like. So there are, I think, 3 of these that are just mixed with water. I thought about mixing them with developer, but I decided not to and follow the instructions and see what the instructions say to do. So there are a few of these that are mixed up with water because that's what the instructions recommend for semi-permanent color. I'm just gonna mix up all the product in the bowls real quick so that way application is quicker and one section is not left on a lot longer than the other one. Each product obviously recommends you leave it on a different amount of time. Some anywhere from 5 to 45 minutes, that's the max. I'm going to aim for 20 because most of them recommend like 20 to 30 minutes and there are a few that say do not go over 20 minutes. So I'm gonna do 20 minutes right in the middle of the processing time, the average of all the processing times they recommend. So once I get this applied, we are just gonna let it sit for 20 minutes at room temperature. Like I said, I have used all of these in other videos, but separately dedicated. So if you want more in depth on each dedicated video, check out my playlist like I said. There is also another video on YouTube. I cannot remember the name of the channel, but I've watched that video before and she does something very similar to this. So I will leave her video linked in the description down below because I'm not sure which color removers she uses and maybe she uses some ones that are different than mine. Her video is from a while ago, so I know that some of the ones I'm using didn't exist back then and maybe some of the ones that she used back then I'm not using. So if you're watching this, definitely check out her video. The 3 that I mixed up with water is the L'Oreal Effisol Matrix Color Remover and L'Oreal Color Zap. L'Oreal Color Zap and L'Oreal Effisol are very similar, if not the exact same thing. Obviously, they're owned by the same company and the instructions and everything are identical. So if you can't get your hands on the L'Oreal Effisol, you can always try the L'Oreal Color Zap and it should work about the same. All right, everything's mixed up. Let's start applying these. I can already see excess color coming out and you can see now the yellow and the orange starting to poke through. Moving on to the second one, this is BTZ Radical. This one is foaming. Literally, it's just like foaming, so let's hope this works. It smells a little funny. Moving on to the Matrix, and this one is the one that has water in it. I'm gonna dump it in the bottle so it's easier to apply, because right now, it's not applying very easily. Next is a Schwarzkopf, my personal favorite. Hey Siri, set timer 20 minutes. Guy Tang Striptease is next. On to Malibu, and this one, it's scaring me. It's foamed up so much. Going into the L'Oreal Effisol, and again, this one was with water. So I'm gonna go ahead and rinse out that bottle and dump this in the bottle. Going in with the Joico color eraser. Now I know from experience this shit works. It's damaging, but it works. Now we're going in with the Illumin. Going in with the argan oil, which is the only one that's not like bleach based. It's like straight up liquid, so we'll see how well this works. This one smells the absolute worst out of all of them. It smells so bad like ammonia. It takes your breath away and it just smells so strong. All right, we have one more left, which is the L'Oreal Color Zap. This one is also mixed up with water. I did not section enough sections, So what we're gonna do is this underneath part right here, we're gonna do this part with the L'Oreal Colors app because ya bitch messed up and did not section the appropriate amount of sections, so. All right, you guys, I'm going to clean up this mess because I literally have color remover all over myself, all over the floor, all over everything in existence over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up and let this sit. I did start the timer before now, so I'm going to wait for that timer to go off. As soon as that timer goes off, I'm gonna rinse the first section, and then I will wait for the rest of the color sections to be done processing. I will be right back with the finished results, and hopefully we get some good results. Okay, we are back with the results. Before I show you, I just wanna mention my makeup palette is now up for pre-order. So if you didn't get a chance to get one the first time it launched, it is now up for pre-order. I will leave the link down below so you guys can go grab one, and make sure if you get one to use my code Aislinn. It's going to save you 15% off. So I just wanted to mention that real quick. Now let's get to the results. I'm very disappointed, okay? I know that when I use bleach-based color removers, they never work at removing warm colors. Yet for some reason, I thought it was a great idea to do this wig mostly warm colors with a little bit of cool colors in there. So I just want to mention I will be redoing this experiment, but actually using like little swatches like this individually. This wig was a pain in the ass to rinse, make sure each section was, you know, separated from each other. Like it was just a pain in the ass. So I'm going to do this again in a future video and do it on swatches like this, so that way we can get a better result. But let me go ahead and show you. Okay, here's what we're working with. As you guys can see, it still looks very red all over. Like I said, anytime I've ever used a color remover that has bleach in it, it does not remove red or orange very well. In my experience, it works best on blue and green and purple. And as you can see from the results, that was mostly true. It removed a lot of the blue and purple and green. As I was blow drying all these sections, I was just thinking to myself, like, is this worth even showing or uploading or whatever? Because it doesn't look that much different. But I spent so much time on this video. I spent like 4 hours dyeing this wig. I spent so much time mixing everything, preparing everything, like rinsing this out. I don't want to not post this. So we're gonna go ahead and go through all of these and I'll show you because there is a difference between each one, but I'm gonna redo this, okay? So look out for the future video where I redo this experiment, but I do it in a better way. So it's a little bit more concise and not as all over the place. So this first section right here is the punky color, and honestly, it did a really good job. Arguably the best job out of all of these. You guys can see there is no more blue, no more purple. The pink is gone out of the ends. It's literally only red and orange left in here. So it removed every other color that was in this hair strand. It does feel pretty dry and brittle. I used the same shampoo and the same leave-in treatment on all of these strands, so the feeling of them should all be the same. This one does feel dry, but I didn't lose any hair. This next one is the Beyond the Zone Radical Color Remover. This one did an okay job. As you can see, it did lighten up the red, it lightened up the blue, but you can still see the blue is there. The purple is almost completely gone, so it did a good job at removing the purple, and it also did fade the pink on the ends quite a bit. So this one did an okay job, but obviously not the best at removing blue. It did fade it, but it didn't remove it completely. Next, we have the Matrix So Color Cult. This one we mixed up with water. So this did a pretty amazing job for just using water. As you can see, it did fade the blue quite a bit. I even see some like blonde pieces in there poking through in through here. Also the purple is gone out of here. It removed that. The pink is still pretty prominent on the ends, but it did lighten it a little bit. So this one did really well with just mixing it with water. If you use developer, I guarantee you that this blue would have came out of the hair, but for just using water, pretty good. The next one is the Schwarzkopf color remover, and like I said, this one is my favorite. I love this color remover, and as you can see, It did a phenomenal job, and I think that this did the best out of any other swatches. There is no blue, there's no purple. It faded the pink quite a bit on the ends, and it also did a great job at fading out that red and orange up there. You can see it's like almost completely back to blonde in that one little area. So I feel like this one did the best at removing the color. Also, this one feels really good. It feels a lot better than the other two we just went through. This one maintained the integrity while lifting a lot of that color out. So I absolutely love the Schwarzkopf one. I think it does an amazing job. Then we're gonna move on to Guy Tang Striptease. And this one was disappointing. Like I said, I have used this before and it worked amazing at lifting out color. I think it has something to do with the color I used or just the amount of red that's in here, but it basically looks the same. It didn't really do a lot. I also used 20 volume, not 10 volume, and it really didn't do much at all. This one looks pretty much the same from root to end. It did move a little bit of the purple, but not much. It looks pretty similar to what it looked like before, just a little bit lighter. But like I said, I have used this in another video and it did an incredible job at removing all the color I used. And then I have Malibu DDL and I mixed this with 20 volume. This one was also a little disappointing. It didn't really remove that much. As you can see up there at the top by the red color, there is some blonde peeking through, but as far as like the purple and blue, it faded a little bit, but not much. I think this might be the most vibrant pink that's still left over. It definitely did fade, and I feel like maybe on different color it would work better, but overall, not the best. This next one is L'Oreal Effisol, and this one was just with water. And again, for just mixing this with water, I would say it did a pretty decent job. As you can see, it did remove a lot of the blue, it removed the purple. It did not remove any of the pink or any of the red, but like I said, warmer colors are a lot harder to remove with bleach-based color removers like what I'm using today. So you can see it did remove quite a bit of that blue and purple. And again, just mixing that with water did a pretty solid job. The next one we have is the Joico Color Eraser. This one I definitely feel like is the most damaging. This feels so dry and gummy. Like it just is not, it does not have a lot of flexibility to it. With that being said, it did a really good job. It removed all the blue, all the purple. It faded the pink a lot. This one did a pretty good job. As you can see, it even removed some of the red up at the top here. So yeah, this one did a good job, but why use this one when you could use a Schwarzkopf one that's more gentle on your hair, and it also did an amazing job at removing the color. The next one is the Illumin one. This one did a decent job. It did lighten the blue a lot, and the purple is totally gone. As you see, there is still color left over of every color I put in the hair, but it did fade, okay? It did fade the hair, but there's just better options out there. This one, the hair feels fine too. This one right here is the Argan Oil. This is the one that is not bleach based, and honestly, it did a pretty decent job for not having any bleach in it. You can see there is some purple and some blue left, but it lightened it quite a bit. Maybe if I left it on a little bit longer, it would do a little bit more. Again, not really effective on the pink or on the red, but it worked decently well at removing blue and purple. This last section I have is the Color Zap, and it's this section right here underneath. As you can see, it did remove the purple, but it didn't remove the blue. The pink is still super, super vibrant. There's still red and orange in there, but it did remove some of that purple. I feel like all the products I used the water with did about the same amount. So I used water with Color Zap, L'Oreal Effisol, and the Matrix color remover, and I feel like all the swatches were very, very similar. The products seem to perform like almost identically. Next time I do this, I'm gonna add developer in with those ones. It does suggest water for semi-permanent color, which is why I did that this time, but in the future, I'm going to definitely mix it with developer because I've used it on myself with developer and it works way better with developer. I just didn't do it this time because that's not what the instructions recommended. So here you go. I hope this was helpful. It doesn't seem very helpful to me right now. I'm really disappointed in myself. I feel like I could have done way better on this video, but I hope it helped you in some way. And again, I will be redoing this in the future using different colors. I'm not going to use red. I'm going to use pink instead of red, and I'm going to make sure I do pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, just to make sure and add a lot more of those cool tones in there, because these definitely work better on cool tones. And I will use a different pink instead of the Good Dye Young pink I used on this. I'll use a different pink. That is all for today's video. I will leave a link to all the color removers we use in the description down below for you guys. Don't forget to check out my Instagram. The link to that is in the description down below. I post way more of my everyday life on there. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.